one. How about that? So object relations, you guys, is internalized caregiver relationships shape future bonds. So Roger, bad objects, alienation, distorted attachment. So let's talk about this.
Yep. So I think it's because of his failed attachments that objects relations theory kind of works here. Especially particularly with women, he couldn't form this stable sense of self. So now this internalized object that he has about women now is being externalized in the idea of blame, revenge fantasies, in an attempt to basically restore his ego. So an object is not necessarily physical, but more of an internal representation of how you see these attachments and situations progressing in your own reality.
Absolutely. And he definitely had an insecure attachment. And this led all the way back to, with both parents. So, I definitely agree with that. We could do an entire, just evening on just about attachment. Attachment is because I think attachment and identity ultimately attach or connect to each other. So I think we could do a whole show just on that, which maybe we should sometime because, and even I have Harvard does an adult attachment style quiz that I give my students in class. Of course, they don't have to take it. It's if they want, but they usually all do it. But I could always do something like put it in the chat and people could take their own adult attachment style quiz and then we could talk about that too. But to keep it pretty surface level here, which is hard for me to do. But I agree with you. I put that as early relationships with caregivers internalized as templates for future bonds. So you guys, this is with anyone. So you have an internal working model, which is your how you feel about yourself. So I'm worthy of being loved. I'm worthy of loving other people, or I'm not worthy of being loved, or I'm not worthy of loving other people. But that internal working model is something that continues throughout, your development and especially your formative years. So a lack of attachment or an insecure attachment would definitely play a role. But I think we're going to see here, right, that it's all of these things together that I don't know that just one of these things would have done it. I think it's a mixture of all these different parts that we're putting together, that they all came together in a way that he wasn't able to articulate or understand it.
Yeah,
I also
probably
put that
due to the autism too.
Yes,
not being under. Yeah,
great point. I put that his worldview suggests internalized bad objects, seeing others, especially women, as rejecting and persecutory. So, and also, right, seeing women as he would say, "I want a blonde." Yeah. What does that even mean? Do you know what I mean? I know what that means, but I'm saying, what does that even mean as far as that there's no personality characteristic in that at all. So you just want a blonde, you know what I mean? So he was very shallow in that sense where I don't even think he realized okay, that's great. You want a blonde, but what personality characteristic do you like? And I think that he was so detached in that way that he wasn't even able to think that far. It was just, I want a blonde and blondes reject me.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. So difficulty forming secure attachments and pervasive alienation. So that was another thing. So every time that there was an opportunity for him to form an attachment with someone, he tended to withdraw, or he just didn't see the person for a while. And then he would have this paranoid thought process, oh, they don't like me, or they're making fun of me, or whatever the case may be. And again, or I'm at the party and nobody's talking to me, so therefore, they're bad and they're alienating me, so on and so forth. So I think that is
that time in the video that you showed where he was driving around and just pointing at people and being like, they would never date me and they're stupid, and you're you don't even know them.
That's
you didn't even speak to them.
And he wasn't even a horrible looking, I wouldn't have really
but he was
bad.
Not the most hideous thing on the planet. So no. I think in the last video, I think I had mentioned, I thought this is where personality and what your idea on how we develop a personality could come from. Because for me, I find that it's a 50-50 split between, genetics and also this idea of environment. And so if you had a genetic basis for a narcissistic trait to begin with, maybe what you were giving off was not inviting for other people. And then now their responses cultivated the bigger engagement of this progression of your personality. So it's
100%.
This may have just been here the whole time, and it just was cultivated by all of these different experiences.
That's exactly what I was trying to say earlier. That was so well said. Sarah says external locus of control.
Yeah.
So yeah, right. That's pretty much what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that everything that happens to you is somebody else's fault, and you never, like I'm someone who does more internal locus of control. Feel like I have control over the things that I want to accomplish, that I want to take in, all that kind of stuff. He definitely does not have that same type of locus of control, and he's always blaming others for his issues. So